2026, Stargate Decoded, the seventh symbol. Welcome back. Let's get into this. All right. For those of you who've been following along, this is the brand new release of Stargate 2026, The Awakening, starring Tom Cruise. They are going to release The Awakening and I believe an entire new series in 2026. This is the conceptual trailer, and I've already done 3 videos and none of them have worked. So I'm going to take a different course. We're going to ask you to make this series of Stargate Decodes. I need this to be interactive with you so that I don't have to go through any more problems. First, I'm going to be presenting to you 3 different links to 3 different videos. And I'm going to ask you to come and watch all of these yourself. And that way you are able to see this without interruption, and then you'll understand what I'm presenting in this series. And this is going to have to be a series because I've got this is the deepest one I've ever done in my life, and there's so much to unpack that it's going to take me some time to get through this, and I'm in process of moving, and so I probably won't even be able to get through this entire series before I have to leave this place where I'm doing my my series right now. So let's go ahead and get into this in a different way. I was going to separate one part and present all of the videos, but I have not been able to upload it 3 times trying, and it's not working out that way. So I'm going to just connect the links in the description, and you're going to need to come before you watch this video, connect to the links that I'm going to show you. So we have Tom Cruise in the Stargate, The Awakening, which is coming in 2026. The first video of the Stargate in 1994. What I've done is I've just pulled out the 7th symbol scene, and you're going to come and watch this video. But before you do either of those videos, you're going to go back to my Stargate Decoded from last year. I've already done this. But what I'm going to do today is to unlock all of the signs over the last year. And this is incredibly deep. It takes a serious amount of focus on what it is that I'm saying. This isn't information to just lightly glance over. This is a full study. And so if you have notes or the ability to take notes on this, there's going to be a lot to connect. And I want to make sure everybody's tracking with me. So the first thing you'll do is you'll come to this video from last year that I made about Stargate Decoded. You're going to watch this whole video. I know this is going to take some time. This is going to be probably 2 or 3 parts minimum, including this one, because this is really part 1 going back to last year. So watch this first. And that way I don't have to get into the details of what I've already presented because there's 40 some odd minutes here of information that you're going to need to get through to understand what I'm even talking about with this year. Okay, so we've got those 3 videos. I'll link them in. And what we're going to be doing is breaking down what is being shown in this video series. And if you're not familiar, I can go ahead and go to some scenes here, and I'm going to show you what it is that we're talking about. Now, first, before we even get here, he's showing right here in this cartouche. He is literally showing you the 7th symbol. And it is a chevron or a pyramid. And they are presenting this as the sun on top of the pyramid. And this is on the Egyptian cartouche. And if you see what's being presented, you can tell that it is a stellar map. And if you know anything about Egyptian folklore or mythology, what they're showing in this image is the goddess Nut. And that is the Milky Way. And this is a sign of gate. And if you see there Nut with the stars in her legs, all the way through her body. She goes all the way through the heavens. That's the Milky Way, the goddess Nut or Nut. She has the wings of heaven. This is another sign of a rainbow. It's really the gates, the silver and golden gate. And this is associated with this, what you in modern world would call a goddess, but in the ancient times it wasn't seen that way. These were just ways of them showing the heavenly order. And then you have certain figures that are guardians of the gate. If you see the 2 figures on each side of this gate, and what he was saying before is that there's 2, if you watch the video and you watch what he's presenting in this video scene, and as I have asked, go ahead and get this video up and watch it with my other video before you get to this part. Otherwise, it's not going to have a lot of meaning unless you've already been tracking along. What we're looking at is a chevron with a solar sign, and it's, again, remember what he says in the video once you've seen it. He's talking about these things are all constellations and star signs. And then we see 2 signs on each, 2 individual signs on each side of this sun and chevron sign. And so what we're going to do quickly is we're going to show you what those 2 signs are. So you have, remember he said men on each side. You're going to have to go watch the video first to get track with me. So in that video, he talks about being 2 men. You have Aquarius. This is the water bear, the man with the pitcher. And then you have Sagittarius. And this is the man horse. And he's the bow. He holds the bow and he has the crown. Sagittarius. And then you have the water bearer, the two men on the outskirts of the chevron. Okay, so let's go back here on the cartouche. We have the two men, and they are surrounding the chevron. So we can see this chevron here is connected to the ecliptic, and we are going to be watching the sun make its transition. Now, I want you to pay attention. If you've been following me, you'll know how important it was when I was showing this sign last year. This is Comet C2024 G3 Atlas in the constellation of Capricorn. And let's go ahead and just watch this. We have the sun. And on the 11th, those of you who know how important that date is, this is aligning here with the wing, noon key star. This is the aligning with the wing. And now it's coming around, making its close approach, perihelion to the sun. And then it enters into the new tabernacle of the bridegroom, Capricorn. And this is last year. And who do we see inside of the constellation? Ceres. This is like the judge of the wedding. And this could also be seen as the one who needed to come and bless the house, and is the one who makes sure that the house is even prepared. We'll say that. So we have Comet C2024 G3 Atlas, and that comet marks the house. And then we see Mercury transition into the house of Capricorn. And then we see this image here where the sun and the moon are in the tabernacle of the bridegroom together. Mercury, the messenger, is as a witness in the house. And you have Ceres in the house here. And Ceres is, if you do your, again, just go back to the video. If you have not seen my last year's video, you're missing so much dimension to what I'm presenting here. So go watch that first. Come back here, and this will be mind-blowing to you, because last year I was presenting this. I'm just quickly going over it. Last year I did a full deep dive into this sign. So Ceres, goddess of marriage, she was connected to being like a judge of marriage and romance. And this is the judge of the wedding, preparing for the bride and the bridegroom to make their vows and enter into the house together. Okay? 1 year before our sign in this time. This is happening on 1/29 of last year, and on 1/30, the bride is in the fishtail of Capricorn. She's entered in through the chamber of resurrection. Let's go ahead and hold Ceres up and watch the moon transition from the alignment in the chamber with the bridegroom here on the very beginning after midnight on the 29th. And then we can see the moon transition into the temple of resurrection. And then the moon enters here, and you can see the alignment of the moon and Ceres on the 30th. In the very, very beginning, just after midnight, we have the moon and Ceres aligning in the very back section of Capricorn. And this is the symbol of resurrection. It's a symbol of new life. And we see the bride and the judge aligning in that section of Capricorn. Okay, and so now let's keep our eye on the sun. And there is a section here. And this is our alignment. Here we are here. This is our alignment of the sun. And this is midday on the 2nd. Now, this year it's slightly different. It happens just after midnight on the 3rd for this same alignment. Again, we are looking at the journey of the equinoxes and how the equinoxes play a deep role in tracking time because the sun moves through these houses on uh, uh, a motion that is tied to the wobble of the planet. Because what we see in the heavens is not on a flat, unchanging surface. And that's another way that you know that this flat earth model does not function correctly. And there's all kinds of mathematical proofs for our system. This has gone back thousands and thousands and thousands of years before any of these flat earth theories were even existing. All the ancients all knew, and they showed it in their star maps. So it's not even a question. This is a misunderstanding, and uh, it's presented as a psychological operation. That's the only way for me to say it. So we have last year on 2/2 in the middle of the day, Pacific Standard Time, we literally see the sun here aligning with this star, Theta Capricorni, and this star is aligned with the sun. And the sun is literally the capstone of this temple or chevron. Temples are also presented as chevrons. And you can see, hopefully you've already seen my video from last year. Remember what he said in the video, that all of these signs are constellations. And that's what's being presented to us, is this part of Capricorn between the two men. And if you watch my video of it breaking down these four signs, I have to pull up my notes here. We're going to quickly talk about these chevrons in the video. If you understand what is being presented with the first four chevrons, then you understand that that is prophecy of the bull and the man and the lion and the eagle. And these are the four pillars of the Maseroth. And if you've been following me for a while, then you know the bull is Taurus, the man is Aquarius, the lion is Leo, and what a lot of people they mistake is that the eagle is Scorpio. And this is a mistake a lot of people make in their Maseroth decoding. Scorpio was also shown as an eagle in ancient times. These are the four pillars, or the four corners of the Maseroth. This is where a lot of flat earthers use this kind of language to build their so-called four pillars that the earth supposedly sits on. They're totally misunderstanding the scripture and also what these things represent. So these are houses of the Maseroth, and they are our four pillars where this clock is established. The bull, Taurus; the man, Aquarius; the lion, Leo; the eagle, Scorpio. Chevron 1 is Taurus. Chevron 2, Aquarius. Chevron 3, Leo. Chevron 4, Scorpio. And then we come to the fifth. Let's go here. And let's go to the end of this video. And we're going to see this breakdown here. So here we see the constellation Taurus. This is Chevron 1. And this may be a little difficult for me to lock in without, I'm not even going to go there with playing because of how much I've gone through. Then you can see here if you go to the second chevron and you look at the artwork for the second chevron, it's a match for the Aquarius constellation. None of this is conjecture. You can prove these things out for yourself. And then we're going to be looking at chevron 3 is the Leo constellation. You can easily see, again, they're trying to hide and simplify. Go watch my last year's version. Chevron 4 is Scorpio. You can see that this is a Scorpio imagery, simplified, really simplified. Chevron 5 is the constellation of Sagittarius. And this is the white horse rider. And this is, if you look at the imagery, it's absolutely a dead ringer. They just changed it slightly, made it simplified, but it is the constellation of Sagittarius. Chevron 6 is a image of the constellation of Capricorn, two temples, two pyramids, death and resurrection. The first temple or pyramid is a sign of death or sacrifice. The second pyramid or temple is an image of resurrection or new life. And then in order for this to be completed, we have to have this seventh symbol. And this seventh symbol is that pyramid or chevron. And as he said in the video breakdown, that this is the sun over the top of the temple. And this is what activates their portal. And that's the seventh symbol for the Stargate to engage. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the sun at the point where it is on meridian aligning with the star that is at the very, very tip of the pyramid or chevron. And we can see there's two chevrons or pyramids in the constellation of Capricorn. And this is our constellation that represents Christ, Messiah. And we see again, we're looking at 2025, and we have the witness and the sun, and we just got marked by Comet G3 Atlas in 2024. And we can see how this sign with Ceres in the house is a sign to us of the wedding. And I believed last year that this area of the sun in this section of Capricorn was connected to a window in time, a gate, and I want to make sure that everybody is tracking with me with these symbols, because this, let's go back to this symbol here, which is the seventh symbol. This activates the gate, and if you go and pay attention, you might be good even while you're watching this video to have these other videos pulled up, because in this section, right in here, where they're talking about how this gate works and what is coming through this gate, And what is happening here, you can even see the gate, the portal, and then what is happening through this section with all of these, what I'm just going to call entities coming through this gate, and what that means for planet Earth. Um, just watch, make sure you've got this pulled up and that you can see this video of the awakening 2026. We're going to do a deeper dive into all of this as we go, but this is vital for you to go watch for yourself. And then again, it's important to watch this entire sequence happen without the interruptions. Go watch how this all presents itself out without any interruption, so you can see the flow, you can see everybody's facial expressions, you can see what he's presenting, you can see that we're talking about constellations. And we're going to make this part one. We're going to try to make these shorter videos. I'm going to come back and do part two. We're going to get into all of the signs that we're looking at this year. And if you've already seen my video from last year and you get through all these other videos, then we're going to be able to progress to this next point. Otherwise, there's too much and you won't be able to track it all. So I'm going to break it here. That way you can take a break and you can go and watch all of the other videos, because it's over an hour of information that you've got to get through in order for you to be able to grasp what I'm about to present in part two. So much love. We will be back soon, but this is imperative information. I believe that there is some kind of event connected to this, and I believe that it's serious, and I believe that it warrants a deep inspection and not just a glazing over. I think it's going to be you're going to have to interact with this and get deep and take a really good hard look at the presentation I've done last year. And also, please watch all of these connected links, because it's going to become very, very important once you watch them. So much love. We'll see you back in the next section.